Order in the court. Order in the court. Well, it looks orderly. All right. Um, okay, well, we're interrupt this program to bring you a special guest, and he's going to explain a few details about the American court system, especially California, but it applies generally. And he has a lot of experience, has been in and out of the system. Officially speaking, he's a court chaplain. That's actually a position. And it gives him the power to speak, but I'll let him explain all of that. So here he is, Tony Vu. You got a microphone right there.
How about now? Good. All right. Bill, again, thank you very much. I came by surprise, and folks, thank you for having me. This is lovely. I don't like to be in a bigger crowd. I'm a quality control type of person. So when I mean by quality control, I like to, sit and talk to a smaller group to give them a lot more clear information. And it was because I spent the last 2.5 years, and I'm born and raised in Fountain Valley, Southern California. All my life, my family background is Vietnamese, fully Viet, but I was born, raised as a Californian, young Californian. So I'm a 300-year-old man stuck in the body of a 33-year-old man. So bear with me. Old soul. Then that's why I love to spend time a lot with people like Bill. And it was just by mere coincidence that I had a quality control over all these hundreds, 200 gurus, and then came Bill. And I'm like, I recognize that zip code right there, 949. Let me see if he's... I called him one day, and he picked up. He was like, hello. I was like, whoa. Because all the people that I've tried to learn about the process from, you name it out there, everyone that is out there, I try to reach out that either passed away or God rest their souls. But then I'm like, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to find someone here in California, Southern California, in the backyard. So again, my background is, what was it? My background is I was born and raised fully traditional Catholic all my life. And this is the reason why I was born with a guardrail, did not know anything about the bad side of the Jesuits, the Vaticans, and all that stuff. As a traditional Catholic, I'm more of the white hat, not of the black hat. If the black hat, they're more like the Jesuits that control the banking, the courts, and all that good stuff. I'm just a little kid that just was born, raised, and just thought everything was taught down. And my dad was a former Navy SEAL, frogman in the Vietnam War. My mom, a seamstress. Then I have 2 older sisters and 1 older brother. I'm the baby of the family. So the joke is, how many sisters you got? I got none. Both of them are nuns. One is a a mother, soon to become Mother Superior of the Benedictine Rite in France, and the other one is a novitiate, Sacred Heart novitiate. So again, we were raised very traditional. We only know about all the good, but until most recently, I lost my mother in December, right? And it opened my eyes. And my mom, she always told me, son, you're always the type of person who goes out and help the people. I'm like, yeah, I love helping people. That's in my nature. And as time goes by, after I lost my mother, I started to realize that I wasn't angry or mad. I can never be angry or mad at God or anything like that. As a matter of fact, God giveth, God taketh. And that gave me the purpose to explore out the realm. I just didn't understand how this whole world started. So I was hired as a third-party quality controller for the FDA and CDC, and we were working with the internal affairs. And this is how I got these documents coming back in. There was a lot of bad cookies inside the government. So we were part of a very small knit group, and we went in and we QC everyone. During COVID, we QC everything. That's when it piqued my interest. I'm like, why is it that the tribal nation gets to do all these fun stuff, right? The Iroquois, the indigenous, and all these. I'm like, it just. I'm like, I don't get it. They get their own perks. They get their own right. I didn't understand anything about law then. So fast forward. During the QC period, we did quality control on gloves, nitrile gloves. That was the toughest thing. If you can do gloves, you can take out judges and all that stuff, the law and everything. My job was just to pretty much read every manual, everything whatsoever. So in 3 years, I read over 400,000 manuals. I read all the banking law books. I read the USC code, the UCC code, everything twice. And all the judges' book manual, the clerks, everything down to the very T, because it was our job as a quality control. I didn't have a life. I didn't go party. I went to church. I read. I came home and took care. I just started reading. And all my life, I hated reading. I had made up for it in the last 3 years. So to speed up to today, it piqued my interest, and I knew there was something wrong with our whole entire system, because I was raised by, I didn't have any childhood friends. I only had friends that are around young age, like Bill over here. A lot of uncles, old age men. They're like, until you're married, you'll understand. I'm like, okay. Okay, you're never going to get married, because at this rate, you're just going to work till you die. I'm like, oh, well, thanks. Like, no dating till you're married. That's the Asian mentality. So I had my quite fair share, but I just stick to the books. I did QC work. I was very dedicated to my work. I would do the underwriting, and I would do all these things, and we did over 700 contracts, and none of them passed. That's how bad it was. Like, where was the fund? Where was the history source of funds? Where was it coming from? Why was it going through here? Why did this bank? Why did China come in? I was like, and then it all came back, and I'm like, okay, why is there a court? Why is there a bank? And so I started to dive deep and relearn English again. Okay, funny enough, I think I flunked 2 years in English. Math was terrible, all that stuff, and I think God did it for a reason, because I think He pulled me out of the whole system so that I can actually understand the English we have today. In the courtroom, there is actually 9 different types of English that is being taught out there. All of them are copyrighted and trademarked in Canada, Ontario. If you go into certain courts, if you go to the Central District here, or you go to the Superior Court here, they all have their own dialects of English. And that's why the judges, they get to pick and choose where they like. And each of the courtroom is a financial trading platform. It's a trading platform. What I mean by that is, if you go into, let's say, the Superior Court down at any places, there's normally like a hallway, and there's a lot of court cases. There is, if anybody here knows about stock, Vanguard, BlackRock, all those big guys, yes. So they have these little small subsidiaries, right? Companies such as PIMCO, all these guys, they own each and every single one of those rooms. And they trade you off on the stock market. They don't trade you, they trade your signature, your autograph. That's why that's the only thing that they can get. They try to force you into this commercial contract, right? And Bill here probably gave you a whole history of the California Constitution, but I deal a lot more with the federal, because federal is the mind, the state is the body, right? So other than that, though, there was a lot of trials and errors. I went to court more than like at least 100 times. I had to go up against a lot of judges. I had to learn. I had to, get my feet dirty and all that stuff. And I had to understand the lingo. I learned the whole language too as we speak. I even have a dictionary, or a computer dictionary, of the Black Law Dictionary right next to me. I'm like, okay, cool. And that's why people don't read and people don't understand the lingo, the language that we're speaking nowadays. Like, for instance, you're divorced, right? Or you're separated. Wait a second. Why is there these two different words? Right? Divorce is a commercial contract term. It's a taxable event. The government wants a little piece of the pie if you're divorced. But on common law, right, it's called separated. Your physical body is separated. It's not called marriage. It's a taxable event. It's called matrimony, right? It's not called birth. You were not born. It's your nativity. So that's all common law words, common language that we had. It is not a gift, but it is a inheritance, right? When you say inheritance, it's common law. It's your dad and mom passing down the generation of wealth to the next generation. Whereas if I'm gifting you, I'm taxing you, right? And that's why IRS is there. They're trying to monopolize each and every single thing. So I was fortunate enough to segue all the way to Vegas and be able to work with the tribal nation for 9 months. The Arawakan Taino tribe of Puerto Rico, right? I was there with Grand Chief, and I was able to learn about a lot of the colors of law. You probably all here know about the colors of law, right? The deprivation under the color of law, Title 18, 241, 242, which they're using on everyone. But you don't know about the deprivation under the color of ink. So that's why. You ever walk into Target, you're like, why do they have so many different type of colors? Well, as a matter of fact, each of these jurisdiction of the color has a meaning and purpose, right? Blue. We are known as the blue-blooded people. Why? Our blood is blue. But when God gives you the air to breathe, to take in that inhale, and you breathe out, and then you exhale again, it turns red, oxidized, right? So that's why you are, red. So that's why you're blue-blooded. That's why it's energy. You got to have to write everything in blue. You don't want to do it in black. Black means dead. That's why you have to pay tax. I don't ever use any of the black. Green, peace, right? If you want royalty, that's when your red and your blue combine, you get purple or violet, right, for your royalty, and so on and so forth. So yes, it's called deprivation under the color of law. I was fortunate, got to spend with the indigenous tribe for 3 months just learning about the colors of ink, and then the post office and such though. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Yes, so my background is I told Bill I just love learning more and more new things, and I just want to be able to give out as much information as possible. And I think I'm just good with that. If you have a question about a matter, there you go. I can solve that problem just for you, right? Because I've been hoarding in all of these information, and it just comes to me. I'm like, oh, there's a purpose. There's why is the asphalt versus gravel or dirt, right? Well, you driving on concrete, that's federal. If you're on asphalt, you're in the state of California. That is a corporation. If you're on dirt, you're now part of the tribal nation. No one knows about that jurisdiction, so that's just one of it. But I do have some documents here I'd like to pass around for you folks to see. Each of the court case. This is a foreclosure court case that I was currently taking care of, that they were trading on the stock market. I caught the judge in the act. It was the clerk, the judge, and the whole courtroom was trading my court case for $1.3 billion. It's right here. And I got 2 QSIP reports to it. And these reports is what... That's every single court cases. Yeah, because I work with the security broker's license. Those guys over at SEC, right? And I'm sorry?
Who are they selling it to?
They are selling to global investors, to AIG, to all the insurance companies out there. They just buy back all these mortgage-backed securities. Yeah.
What is your case worth to these investors?
It's your signature. So every time you go to court, they try to monetize your signatures, because that's all it is. That's the value that you have. That's why it's not a signature. That's Latin word for to steal. It's an autograph. Gold to graph. Go ahead.
Can't you restrict your signature by putting without prejudice on top of it?
You can do all that stuff, but I will just show you one very simple one. Just sign your name and draw a box around it. Why? That puts it into another document. And it happened to me a couple of times. I signed my name, or the cop, right? They pulled me over. Sir, can you see your security? I don't want to get in argument with them, so they give me a document signed. I just sign my name and I draw a box around it. So when I went to before the judge, then I told the judge, "Are you Tony Vu?" Yes, sir. Do you plead guilty or not guilty? I said, "I plead innocence." So why do you plead innocence? Why is that? I said, "Your Honor, do you see my signature in there?" "No, I do not see any signature whatsoever. Case dismissed." Next. Why? Because that box, the power of the ink, it brought it onto another document. So that's why it's the four-corner rule. Black. I did not know any of the colors back then. This was. If you do a tablet, right, even better, because where does the law states that you can use a digital equipment, right? That's thrown out, or a printout. So I normally would just draw a box with inside there, yeah. And you don't have to even sign it; you just draw a box.
Only a box.
Yeah, only a box around your signature, because that is the most valuable thing that they're able to monetize. That's why it's called full faith and credit. That's why on the US dollar, it's your full faith and credit. What's your credit? It's your signature. God gave every one of us a very unique autograph, gold to graph. That's why in us, we all have gold. And they don't tell you. They changed the word. It's called plasma. Yes?
Another thing, anything you see that's in a box means it doesn't exist. So the same thing that you're saying right now, you put a box on the signature.
It's in another document. It's not on that document. It's in another document.
It doesn't exist.
So you can have one document, right? You can have one document, but it has, I don't know, 40 boxes in there. That's 40 documents on one parchment. That's why when you try to fill out a passport document or anything, there's like box, 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 box. I'm like, oh my gosh, one page has 40 documents on there. That's why they're not called pages. They're called parchment. So one parchment, right? And so you're like, how many documents are in there? Nobody teaches you. And then the different types of colors, right? It's a matter of importance. And then and everything on the document. And I love how when I got to first meet Bill, he was explaining to me, well, back in the royal days, you got the king and you got the left and right side. It's all in the document. Everything's on here in the form of a cross. The judge is up here, right? And then down here you sign such and such, right? But I'll pass it around for you guys. Yes, please. Sorry.
How do they monetize your signature? What value does your signature have?
Your signature, it's your God-given right. That's the only thing. We don't have any gold or silver now. So the only thing they can do is to tap into, because what makes your signature valuable is because of your plasma. Your plasma is it's an actually bad word. I call it a taxable word. Cancer, same thing. Medical, they took over those industries. It's not called cancer. It's called parasites. It's not called plasma, but it's called gold liquid, right? It's the gold liquid within our bone marrows. That's what God gave each and every single mankind out there. We're worth gold in God's eyes, right? In the Creator's eyes. And so as you can see, I didn't realize it's all harmonic frequency, right? It was all just connected to each other, based on how this government, right? Not governance. You see, it's supposed to be governance. We, the people, not government. That's a corporation that tells you what to do. You pay your tax, file your taxes. See, there's a difference between filing a tax and recording. If you record the document, it's more powerful. But if you file the document, it's not. It's just loose documents. They won't recognize it. They just toss it to the side. So that's why I would normally go and say I like to file it on demand, or I like to record on demand, right? And so when they record it, it's in the court of record. Mm-hmm.
So the courts do record as well.
They do, but that's why the clerks of the court, they are the judges. Okay, you see the judge wearing the black robe, he is the judges of the ears. He's blind. He can't speak. He can only hear. So that's why you walk in the court. Your Honor, may I be heard? Right? He can only hear.
The clerk is the county recorder, is the same.
The clerk of the clerk recorder and the clerk of the court are all on different levels of a clerk, right? The clerk of the court are actually judges of the touch. They can see, they can touch, but they cannot talk. They cannot hear. Yes, they can write. That's why they got more power than the judges wearing the black robe. And when you got 3 notaries, right, to go into the court with you, a notary is also the judge. They are the judges of the eyes. And they can't hear, they can't speak, but they can see. So they got more power just by just observing. That's why they're a notary, right? So each and every single of these officers out here are all judges. Whereas you are a king, you are a queen. Therefore, you have all 5 faculties. You can touch, taste, smell, everything, right? You can go down. That's why the judge, they can't say anything to you, but they can trick you. Yeah. So you're in the superior court, they're attacking your body. When you're in federal court, they're attacking your mind. The federal, that's why federal government, it's all in 50 states, all of the territories and everything. But when you're in the state of California, that's your body. You're here physically here. They come after you. They try to come up because we have 48 countries, right? Each of the state represents a country. And so that's why every state, they're a little bit different. Like Louisiana, they fall under the French, the Napoleon, the French common law. And that's why it's a little bit different, right? They have a little bit a different system over there. Whereas California, it's the common law jurisdiction. It's just exactly like 10, 15 other states. You go to the first 13 colonies, the Commonwealth. So they are considered chancery courts, right? And it's all very similar. Chancery courts, superior courts are the only courts, like Bill said, has a common law jurisdiction. But the federal government has the federal common law. They play trick with you too. Chancery court, yes, they have common law in chancery court too. No, we have superior courts here. Chancery court is in Delaware. It's in New Jersey. I think in New Jersey, it's like all in the first 13 colonies. Yeah.
So can you bring an action in chancery court in California?
It depends where the suit is, right? What happened to you? Were you in the LSA or were you here in California, right? So that's why jurisdictional, extraditing and all that good stuff. That's why you have to bring in the federal. That's why federal government, they have FBI. It actually doesn't stand for Federal Bureau of Investigation. It stands for Federal Banker Investigators. They all work for the bank. Their job is to protect all the judges. That's why none of the courtrooms here are never on the first floor. It's always on the second, third floor.
So these documents that we're looking at right now, explain to us, what are we looking at?
That is a 2 foreclosure cases that I got the QSIT reports on that they're currently trading on under Alliance Bernstein, based out of Los Angeles. That all these federal courts are buying these court cases, and as you can see, they bought those court cases. And what does that mean? I caught the clerk and the judge and everybody in that courtroom, their hands in the cookie jar. When you have that QSIT report, it costs only $150 to buy and to order.
I want to get a QSIT report on a case. I just give the case number and say I want a QSIT report.
Yeah, there's gonna be a form to fill out, like 6 questions. What's your name? What's your court case? And then when you need it by, you normally would get it in about 7 days. And then the Series 7 broker license, right? He will go and obtain it through the Bloomberg terminal. So he'll pull it down, and then here you go. So when you obtain the case, it means that the clerk has been trading on the stock market. The judge, everyone's signature inside the courtroom are participating, including the bailiffs too.
And then what do you do with that?
So what you want to do is you put it on the record and go, motion to dismiss case or vacate case for financial security fraud.
And so that's what they mean when they say that the court is,
Talk loud.
Every single court case in every 48 states, they are all frauding us. That broke my heart.
This is federal and
That's just Superior Court of California. I just brought that bad boy to federal court.
you asked a question.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, turn it off.
well,
With the report.
So, because I had heard that the courts were monetizing your court case, and that's why they want you in there. And so that's what what is meant by that, is that
Every time.
that's how they do it.
Every time they make you come in court, and then you have an attorney, right? And the word for attorney in Latin means to twist and turn for the judge. They go, come on in. I need you to sign right here. Once you sign, they get it. They pull more money from your Sissica trust, right? From your Social Security number on the back. They pull like another $100,000, $200,000. Maybe they do it 3-4 times. Every time they do that, that's why one court case like that has about 20 other cases on there.
What about when you're detained and they want you to sign? So I refused to sign because I got detained and I refused to sign anything when they let me out. They still let me out, but I mean, they said, well, just sign here. I said, no, I ain't signing nothing.
They don't care. As long as they can get your signature, they're banking. They're making money. Every signature is worth $5 million.
And who do you go to get a signature?
I have 2 brokers that I normally go to, and they have to do an affidavit, right? And they have to do a notary that they release it to you so that the judge go, where'd you get this? Go ahead.
That's what they want to get to that. You're a troublemaker. You're a troublemaker.
What makes your case more valuable, your credit score or the severity?
wait a minute, we got too many people talking. You're being drowned out totally. Where's that other mic, Bill?
Yeah, we just pass the mic around. That way everyone can hear
There's
you.
a wired mic up there.
Oh.
So what makes your signature more valuable? Your credit score or the severity
No.
of the case or?
Your blood, your flesh and blood. For you being existent.
So we're all going to be worth the same amount of money?
Yes. And how do they normally okay, so under the common law jurisdiction, when you were born, how much did you weigh? I was weighed, I don't know, 3 pounds, something like that. That's how much you were worth in gold. And they hid all that information from you. So when you were born or you had your nativity, right, they did 3 things to you. That's why they copy it off from the three kings, right? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They created a registrar, a birth certificate, and a certificate of live birth. And they trade you on the stock market. Right then when you were born.
Where does it show that? When you go to the stock market, where does it show that?
They won't show you that on the stock market because you have to have these brokers, Series 7 brokers. Their job is to get your all caps name and your social security number, and then they'll search it in the Bloomberg terminal. And when they pull out that QSIP report, right, which you see right there with the little red check mark, they will pull that information and then go, that is how much that is you in a pool of possibly 20, 30 other people that are being traded on the stock market. Yeah. So all the court cases here, that's how they are able to print money, full faith and credit. And it was so bad when I first saw that. Because of that document, I was able to shut down a federal judge, in Central District of LA here. He was vicious. He was the most vicious federal judge. I didn't know who I was going up. He yelled at me. He was like, "Who are you?" I'm a minister. What do you mean minister? Mister or minister? I'm like, I'm a minister. Oh, you're here for him, the defendant? Okay, I'll allow you to come in. You can hold his hand later. You can walk him into the jail. He was belligerent. He was like, this kid knows absolutely nothing. But come on now, I was raised with a Navy SEAL father. My way or the highway, right? You got nothing on me, sir. Only my dad can yell at me, but I didn't say that. I was being kind. And the judge was about to sentence the gentleman, the defendant, 2 counts of 40 years money laundering that was set up by the FBI. It was about to put that man in jail for 2 counts, 4 years, that's 80 years. Until I told the defendant, I said, defendant, just give the judge your last, like, is there anything that the defendant would like to say, one last word before you die, right? Before you're sentenced. He goes up, he gives like, you want me to read this? Are you kidding me? Okay, for you, we're about to put you in jail anyways. He opened the mail, right? He's like, oh, some clergy documents. And he held that CUSIP report. When a judge holds that document in court, he automatically, right, gets thrown in jail. He's supposed to be fined for 10 years and gets thrown in jail for another 10 more years because he's not allowed to even speak of that matter. That's against their oath of office. And he was about to sentence the man, and I saw him just holding his hand like this, and he was just shaking. He was shaking. It went from sentencing to hearing to recusal. When a judge recused, that judge did something wrong. He had financial interest in the matter. Later on, I found out he had 23 CUSIP report in that one court case, and he was making $21.4 billion.
Is that typical of these judges?
Why do you think those federal judges are sitting there in their black robes and they're just waiting for the retirement plan? Yeah. They make billions. That's why all these federal judges out there, they're not for you. They're there to make financial interests, right? Yes.
So,
A little less, but still a lot.
So a few years ago, I was given a website, a utility website, and I was on fidelity.com, and I was able to find my ticker and use my information, and then look on that stock market through Fidelity and see how much I was worth, and it was like 43 billion.
Something like that. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
and that was like, I don't know, that was 15 years ago.
That's the documents that the judges. What does the judges normally do when they don't have court? They are in their private chambers. They got 4 or 5 computers, and what are they doing? They're working for Wells Fargo, J.P. Morgan Chase, all these banks, and wiring money from one state to another. Why do you think when you wire money from one state to another state, this federal judge, they work with that Federal Reserve, right? So the Federal Reserve of San Francisco has a subdivision, right? It's called the Federal Reserve of Los Angeles. Los Angeles, they will then go, okay, how many wires do we have today going out from Southern California? Looks like we got 30. So the federal judges sit in their room. They would, like, you would send, let's say, $25,000 to her, and she's in Florida. So now the federal judge has to call the other federal judge down in Florida. Hey, I got about 4 of these people who's sending the money over to Florida. Will you take it? And then they will send that money over to her. They're all agents for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. It's a trading platform. All they're doing is just moving money for you guys. That's why it's like, any over $10,000, please report. Any over $10,000, please report. So that's why they sit there. It's not about reputation. It's trading you every 300 something million people in the United States. Go ahead.
So how do they have this money that's backing us? So if our country is bankrupt pretty much right now, right? We're trillions of dollars in debt, and how can we, and the second question is, how can we collect money that we're worth for ourselves?
It's not about collecting, it's about knowing your value and then setting up your trust, right? You have to set up your trust. Yeah, because the trust, you have a bond, right? We all have bonds here. And so right now, we're all bonding, right? Our timing. And then what are you value at? What do you do, right? You see, what does Jesus do? What does this gentleman? Well, everyone has a gift that God gave us that is worth. God gave us life here so that we can not work 9 to 5. He was supposed to choose us to go help humanity. And that was how it was. So our founding fathers and all this corporation, the Civil War happened, they hid all the gold and silver in Puerto Rico and Manila. Why is it called Manila envelope? It's not a yellow envelope. Because why Manila? That's where the yellow brick road leads to Rome. After finding all this out, I cried so hard that my Catholic Church has been monetizing every single one of us over at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. You see, New York City, Vatican City, London City, and Washington, D.C. are 4 mini countries. just following the money from UK all the way over here. They're just moving the money. And how? They just print money off of all your sins that you've ever committed, infractions or statutory codes, regulations, all the things, right? Well, Bill tells you that's code, that's regulation, that's not a violation, right? Well, back then in the cowboy days, it's like, if you said something, if you slander my name, let's go outside. We're gonna duel. Settle like men, right? What'd you say about my mother? Let's go outside. Let's settle it like men, right? And the sheriff stands there. Okay, all right. He died. He collects the stuff and he'll render it to the other side, but because that's a duel. That is how honor was. It's reputation and honor. That's why our whole court structure is based off the military, maritime admiralty. Were you honorably discharged or were you dishonorably discharged? Right? Did you do something bad, or why do we have the honor and dishonor system? Right? It's all about the reputation. That's why the feudal system back in the day, it was all about reputation. The house of Jesus. What's your last name? Morales. It's Jesus of the house of Morales. That's how we were. What is your family name? Morales. Okay. Okay, we know that family last name. They must be doing this. That's how the judges were back then. What's your first name? Jesus. You must be the third son from da 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 da. What is it that you request of me? What is it that you seek? Veronica over there keeps stealing all my stuff, right? And the judge, okay, because they memorized the family names, the house of. Now, when you work for the government or the governance, it's Jesus of and for the house of, what was it again? Morales. Of and for. That means you work with the king, you work with the judge, you work for the common. For, that's why for the people. Of, it's, I'm only part of the family. So that's why back then when you watch Game of Thrones, the house of, right? Bill, the William of the house of was it? Thornton, right? Yes, that's how it's supposed to be, and that's the common law ways. And like, what's your name? That's why they try to do all this all caps name. They try to come up with all of this corporation. They try to tax every one of us. That's all tax. It's tax.
Is this only on Superior Court cases?
No.
So if you have a civil case that you filed against somebody?
Let me tell you this. Your social security number is also a CUSIP report. Your loan numbers or your VIN numbers to your vehicle are also a CUSIP report. Anything you sign, CUSIP.
Which stands for what?
It stands for, let's see here, I think it was commodity. Let's see here. Let me, how am I doing on time, Bill? Am I okay?
Yeah, it's my
Community and uniform,
Yes.
securities,
So here, let me find it for you very quick here, right?
Uniform securities identification procedures.
Yes. So the QSIP report, it collects all the information from each security out there, and they put it in a pool, right? A mortgage-backed security to be reinsured. Then for each and every single one of us, we have something called the numinant record. A numinant record is from the Social Security Administration Department. That thing is a skeleton of every single signature that you open. I first signed my home. I first opened up my home. I first opened my checking account. You did something to get a checking account. You got a card. You open up your just anything. They have a record of that at the Superior Court, whatever county you're at. And they take that and trade it. Mm-hmm.
So if I sue Alan for something stupid, like he borrowed my lawnmower, he didn't give it back, I'm suing for $500. Is there any money to be made in that court case?
Of course, because you're forcing him to come out and go small claim court, right? Please sign here. That's the first thing they gotta do. Sign right here, or they even get you an attorney or a lawyer. Sir, I don't know anything about law. Lawyer, take care of it for me. Okay, so you just sign right here, here. You see, every signature.
Is the lawyer monetizing your signature?
Oh, yes, he does. The prosecutor, the DA,
But you're the attorney you hire.
every attorney. reports to the Crown. It reports to the Bar Association.
And they're taking your signature.
The King of England, well, it was the Queen of England, and the King of England are the ones that are monetizing off of all of our.
That's why the lawyer I inherited him from my dad. He had a big ass house up there in La Cañada, overlooking the whole city. Yeah, that's how he got it, I guess.
They took the secret oath too.
Yeah, he was.
So the prosecutors, which I just found out of your county, is the president of the county of wherever you're in. Like, what's his name for Orange County? It's Stickler. Was that his name? District Attorney General of Orange County. Yeah, is Todd Spitzer. He is the district attorney. Is the president of the corporation of the county of Orange. So that's why all the DAs or all the district attorney are their jobs is to shake hands with all the judges so that they can make money off of every court case. That's why it's called the people of the state of California against you. Right?
Why is that the bill? Why they? Because when you go into
When you're being persecuted in court, they say it's the people of the state of California versus Alan Zorthian, which is what I had. Yeah, and so what gives them the right to co-opt yeah?
Well, what happened? Normally, when the state of you got in an altercation with a police officer, you got altercation with any public official officer. That's why the DA would step out and defend the county.
Yeah, I see.
And that's why they're like, we're not the county. We had to be the state of. So the people of the state of California against you.
Is this something only in the United States, this QSIP thing, or is it worldwide?
It's all worldwide.
Wow.
It's all stationed out of Germany.
Could somebody repeat what CUSIP meant on that?
Yes, right here.
Somebody said it over here. That didn't get recorded.
Let me type it in right here. Either that or my. Yes, please. Sorry.
Okay, CUSIP means Committee on Uniform Securities Identification Procedures.
Yes. And then.
And I have a question.
Yes.
Get a chance. Oh, okay. So with all of this information that you've given us, my concern is, how do we get remedy?
Well, that's why. Do any of you ever used to do taxes? I assume so. Right? Have you ever heard of the 1099 A, B, and C? Yes. The joke is always that Michael Jackson knew, how easy the system was. It was as easy as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Right? That's why the 1099A is about abandonment and acquisition. 1099B is about broker and bartering. That's where the QSIP report comes in. You have to, I'll be able to sit here to one of these days. If you, once you obtain the QSIP report, that's where I come in as the underwriter. I'll go, okay, how much did they make off of this court case? I can tell you exactly how much each of the judges, the clerk's assistant, the associates, all the way down to 7, 8, 9 people in the courtroom, they're all making a little piece of the pie. And you have to file it on the 1099B, and then you have to do a 1099C. You cancel out that debt. It's a contract. So you cancel out all the court cases. That's what I've been doing for Dave. Does anyone know Dave? No. Dave Benson? It's a friend. Benson Crane, yeah. I've been sitting there just doing his 1099Bs and all his remedies so that he can have it peace of mind. Mm-hmm. So that's why I did a 1099B on my documents as well. Go ahead.
But during the process you're talking about, it's very specific. So you actually need a specific way of filling out the documents, correct?
Yes, there's way of doing it. That's why earlier, when I finished up my meeting earlier, I met with a group of expert team that I got invited into. They do this 24/7 for the community. They sit there, they go, okay, how do we get this money out for this member right here, right? How do we tell the IRS to get it done quicker? What law does it make? What law permits this this process to be faster? Imagine Donald Trump coming out there going, "I like to do my taxes. Do I have to wait 45 days, or I have to file this document?" Does the president or anybody special get expedited? Right? Normally they hand it to this person to get it done now, right? Well, there is laws out there that pushes the government to do faster. Yes, sir.
And then Ray Reynolds teaches that if you skip out on your car payments, it gets repoed. The IRS will do 1099-C, and then you think you're out of the woods, but you're not.
Yeah, you can do a 1099-C, but that just cancels the debt. But now you gotta have to be able to get that money back because it's borrowed money. See, it's credit, not money. Sorry. Go ahead. Yes, you're correct. There's no money, but there's credit. And that's what we're all here working together as full faith and credit is species, money, species, and money is gold and silver. That's very rare to come by, right? And so that's why I'm as a auditor, I have to trace where the money, the history source of funds are coming from. Are they, go ahead, sir.
So if you had microphone, microphone, please.
So if you have a tax debt, are you able to use that you can cancel that out based on what's owed to you, I guess?
What's tax?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, let's say, for instance, the government is claiming that you owe them $10,000, for instance. Can you cancel that out using this technique?
Absolutely. You can cancel out all debts because you are the beneficiary. So a beneficiary get to wear two hats. They get to be the debtor and the creditor at the same time. We're just going to be in the theater behind these 1099A, B, and C as debtors. I've been paying for that stuff right there. IRS, go after that guy. He's been double dipping me. See, every time when you sign for a mortgage or you plan on buying a car or acquire a new car or acquire a new home, you did a foreclosure right there, right then and there. Once you sign that document, you foreclose on that home. It's yours. But what they don't let you know is the fact that you just got scammed into the worst Chuck E. Cheese of your life. No, it is a contract, but to make it easier, you just bought a token that you have to pay off in 30 years.
So let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
If you own a property and you've had it for, let's say, 23 years and you paid it off,
okay,
and you want to recover all the payments that were made on that property, is there a way to do that?
Absolutely. You're going to have to go back and find the mortgage number that you had,
right,
which you can request from whoever it is, right?
Yeah.
And get that QSIP report and to file a 1099B, get all your credit back. So how much was your, let's say, how much is your home?
It was $247,000.
$247,000. It took you 23 years to pay
23 years to pay it off.
So this is what they did in 23 years. Times that by that amount. So 23 times 200-something thousand. That's how much money they took out from you. If anybody have a calculator.
Hold on.
How many times?
Well, how many years did he pay off? 23 years. Yeah. But how much was the home? It was 200 and something. Exactly. So for 23 years, he's been paying off a credit that they've been accumulating.
You mean the interest?
Yes. That's why it's the word interest, right? They doubled it when he signed that document, $230-something thousand. They quadruple dipped on him. They took the money out from his account, and then they sell it to a third party, not debt collector. They sell that information to the banks. Yeah, and then that's why they put it on your credit report.
What's the number you got to get?
It's a 1099 A, B, and C.
No, the loan numbers.
Oh, the QSIT report of the mortgage number.
Okay, and last question for me, at least on this.
Sure.
What if you have a mortgage currently, and let's say you owe $700,000?
How long have you had that mortgage for?
It was a refinance. It's a year and a half.
Before refinance. How long have you had that
for 20-something years.
Wow. So we have to go back in time. Okay, you do a 1099-C, you cancel off that debt, and then you get the QSIT report, and then you put it on a 1099-B, you get all your credit back from Uncle Sam.
Should I drop the mic now?
Yeah, I told the judge once. I said I wish I had my microphone so I can drop it. Mic drop. Yes, which part?
99C.
So if you ever want to, if there's this annoying debt or something that's just gnawing at you for so many years, you're like, oh, I wake up and I have to go work 9 to 5 to pay off this debt. You do a 1099-C on it. You cancel out the debt. Okay? I believe I have a form right here. I can pass it around for you. Trust me, if I were to be an actor in the court and I accidentally like walk into court and just drop all these 1099s all over the court, you know, the first thing the judge and the clerk are going to look at you, they're going to go, oh my gosh, get him out. Because they do not like the IRS inside the court. All the judges and the clerks in the court, they hide a lot of money.
So,
Yes, I have a 1099-B right here. Yeah. Yes.
so do you need a personal bodyguard?
Well, why would you?
God is our personal bodyguard. Trust me.
If you can make the judge smile, that's you won the game because they know the game already, and now the people are waking. Let's see here. I think I got some other.
So is there a special way you're supposed to fill these forms out?
Well, once I teach you once, you're gonna be very good at that stuff. It's like I want to cancel all my debts.
Come on, let's do it.
You see, when you have your credit reports, right? You don't want to remove any of the old things on your credit report. You file a 1099-C on your past debts. Why? It's gonna take those creditors, right? So-called creditors, lenders, right? They're gonna tell them, hey, you double dipped, you triple dipped here. So when you apply for an American Express card on the first day, right? They took out 3 times about amount of money that you took out from the account. You just didn't know about it. And later on, you close down an account on the public side. They still trade that on the private side, and they don't let you know. So when you do a 1099-C, it closes the private side and the public side.
So what if they closed it? Can you still cancel it?
Absolutely, because they trade all that money on the private side. I want part of that pie too. Hello, give me that money. All right, give me those credit from that security.
So
See,
your trustee, the trustee of your trust is involved.
oh yes, this is where you have your trusts ready to go. You are the executor of your trust, of the office of your executor, and then once you have that, you can then tell the court, give me all that money. Tell the IRS, right, to give you all that money back, and it goes into the trust or your credits that they've been stealing from you on the private side.
Back in your certificate trust.
No. It goes into your trust, not your Sesike. Your
Personal trust.
yes.
You're going to end up with a $30 million trust.
Here's the thing: you can get 40, 50 million, but you can't pull it all out at once, right? That's why they give you a credit card with the line of credit. What you need to do is you need to tell your credit card company, your indentured trustee, I like to change that into an open-end credit line. That allows you to get access to $50,000 credit line, $60,000, whatever it is. They don't tell you these things. It's not a revolving credit, right? It's an open line, open-end credit. You tell your indentured trustee. So Wells Fargo, they would use Deutsche Bank, for instance. That's their indentured trustee bank. Right? Because here's the thing. The Wells Fargo, you can't trust them doing their own stuff. So they have to have indentured trustee to make sure that they're doing their job because they report to the Office of Internal Revenue Commissioner. Those are your friends. The IRS is not your friend. Internal Revenue Service is not your friend. But Office of Internal Revenue Commissioner.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Let's say, for example, a person filed bankruptcy 20 years ago.
Ooh.
And all those accounts that were on your report are now gone.
They're not
but
gone.
They're
trading.
Can you resurface those accounts?
Of course, they're still trading on the private side, my friend. Wow. The last 20 years, right? It's closed on the public side, but it's still open on the private side. That's why we need to get our trusts up, right? We need to get all that ready to go. Then you have an exchequer. What's an exchequer? Trump was an exchequer. He got the keys from who? The Queen. He got the key from Biden, right? He got the key from the Queen, and the Pope. That allows him to audit every treasury accounts. The royal treasury, that's where all the money is. He goes and he audits. That's what the word exchequer. He has to balance the ledger, the book of life and the book of death. All of us right now are mostly, we were all born, raised in the book of death. That's why our all caps name, right? We have to pay tax and all that stuff, your all caps name. But the book of life, we need to balance it now. That's the private life. That's your private side. Your book of death is your public side. And that's why when Bill is trying to explain about your sovereignty, right? He's trying to explain about your God-given rights in your jurisdiction. Is it on land or is it on water? If it's on water, you lose. You lose to their whole system. But you're on land, it's your God-given right. That's why you have to know your colors of ink. You gotta know what paper you're using. You gotta know what words you're saying.
So there's this process of reclaiming your name. You just
There's a process of reclaiming your name by creating an affidavit where you state you're a man or woman on the land. Mm-hmm. So does that
you don't want to claim, okay? Yeah. You want to,
well, maybe I used the wrong word.
You want to get a copyright of your name.
Copyright.
You see a little C, right? Copyright, trademark. That is only you yourself alone that has that. No other entities or corporation is allowed to use your name.
And when you sign your check, it's got that micro stating that you're the authorized agent, the authorized representative, and on the check. So, is that why you? We always put a C and a
a little C. Yes.
Yeah, I usually put just a little C with a circle around it.
Yes, sir.
And that's why you do that.
It's a beneficiary. What is it called? It's called by accommodation without recourse. What does that mean? I'm allowing you to tap into my Sesike trust. I know what you're doing, but I'm going to permit you to take this security, this payment coupon, to be deposited, right? Because when on the front side of your coupon, it's always blue. Remember, blue, you're doing an act of redemption. On the back, when you put your endorsement, you deposit you're not depositing it, but the utility company is depositing, right? Without you, they would not have that utility, that security. Without you, you're not producing. It's like they have to thank us for having all these utility bills. We're not supposed to be paying, right? So now what happens is all these securities coming to you, the front side is blue ink, on the back side is all red ink. That's why it's royal. The left hand, blue, right hand, red. Yes, so that's why when I do all these endorsements, I send it in register mail, and I normally will enclose, like, let's say electricity bill costs $200 to something, right? I will times it by 12 months, and I will enclose that full amount. So 12 months times 200, that's 2,400. I put $3,000 in there enclosed by accommodation without recourse. Accepted. I'll have all this, and I'll give it to Bill, and Bill can pass it around. Accepted for payment, payable to the bearer. You are the bearer. Who's the person who's going to be receiving that? It's going to be the utility company who's going to deposit that. And then every month, you don't have to pay for that debt. It's discharged. It's satisfied. Mm-hmm.
So I have three questions. One is if somebody's been a good citizen and trying to pay all their debts off and they don't have any loans, then that's counterproductive, because you're saying to build up, get a credit card you're gonna have unlimited credit so that you can get money back from people that have been using it. And the other thing is, you can answer that one first.
So yeah, it is counterproductive. They were brainwashing you through these 3 credit bureaus. And to have an 850 or 900 credit score, they've been putting us in the matrix so that they can brainwash us. They want us to not get out of the system. So that's why. So when you're out of the system, oh man, there's no such thing as a credit score. It's bond. Let's bond now. right? You want to like this is where Bill taught me. You want to get a surety bond or a bond for the work that you're doing. I'm not exactly how to do exactly. Maybe I'm still learning from Bill, but when you obtain a surety bond or bond on that security, that's how you get the money going for you or the credit going for you.
So if you take yourself out of the system and don't allow them to keep using your name, then you're not going to be able to collect.
Exactly. And you're not collecting.
I thought you said you had to get back you could get back the money that they've been selling
Oh
your
yeah.
name.
So there's a couple of different ways, but right now we need remedies. Right now, right? We need to get money in our account in the next 2 weeks. Yeah. Or like, okay, so that people can be happy, not have to worry, and then we could spend more time talking about this matter, right? You probably would have, I would say, around 200 something million. Each and every single one of us right now are averaging between 200 to 300 something million dollars worth of floating rate notes that they owe to us that you just don't know about.
So wouldn't the whole system collapse if we all got 200 million
Well,
in gold?
that's why they're trying to push us to the new world order. That's why they push us into the new cryptocurrency, digital currency, and all that good stuff, right? The new United Nations in 2040, whatever it is. But we got now until next year or the next 7 years of peace. We're going to get ourselves out of the system.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So I know we're each worth $200 million, $300 million. What about the people who are our loved ones, our parents that are no longer, but we're the descendants and we're the inheritors of their wealth? Are we able to go back generations and collect?
Absolutely. Why? Because this is where you have to set up your trust, and then you have to set up your patrimony and matrimony trusts. It's called revocable and irrevocable trusts of your ancestors' trust. And then what you want to do is you have to have something called a durable power of attorney and an irrevocable power of proxy. The proxy is in your spiritual mind, body, spiritual and mentally. But the durable power of attorney takes care of your body. So you take care over the estate. That's why when I go to court, right? Hey, Jesus, right? If you can't speak, no problem. Can you sign right here so that I can have access to your mind and your body? You just stand there. And I'm like, absolutely, amigo. Go right ahead. And I'll go, Your Honor, what Jesus? I am Jesus. Sorry, I'm now taking your spot. You don't have to say anything. And I talk to the judge. I'd be like, Your Honor, you can't be speaking. I'm like, I am spiritual. I'm a ghost. You can't. I'm a spiritual counselor. That's why I tell the judge what to do, because I'm Jesus. I'm not Tony, right? That's why I'm on the right side of these of the defendants, and that's what I did that for so many people, right? And the judge go, Who are you? I am a spiritual counselor. What are you? Who appointed you? I was never appointed. I was elected by the community. So now I'm in your mind. Maybe you don't know what to say. I'll speak for you. It's called the tongue of the Holy Spirit. And I tell the judge, you cannot be judging from the bench. You cannot be advising either, Your Honor. I'm sorry, my honor. Right? So if you say, Your Honor, you're in his jurisdiction, now you bring him to my honor. So you tell him, I know what you're playing. You want to be heard? This is how we do it. Motion to vacate. Financial interest in this matter of this court case. Please dismiss this case. Prosecutor, pull out your checkbook. Pay the tax on this court case. If the prosecutor or whoever the attorney around the other side does state of, every prosecutor, every attorney has a checkbook, blank checkbook this thick, every one of them. And you tell them, do you have a financial interest in this court case matter? Prosecutor, and the prosecutor's looking at the judge. I would like judicial notice. It's like freeze, judge, freeze. Ooh, I can't speak anymore. Judicial notice. Prosecutor, do you have a financial interest in this court case? And you say 3 times. It's a magic spell. It's like objection. I'm like judicial notice. The judge is frozen. He can't say anything. You spoke his magic. Yes. There's 3 things that I learned. One of the main things I learned from Bill here is I object, right? I respectfully object, but then I go, judicial notice, freeze the judge. And then the third thing is, what was it? The third thing is incompetent. Your Honor, you are incompetent. respectfully, you are not even doing what you're supposed to be doing. I don't think you're even a judge. Are you judging? Are you a lawyer? Are you an attorney? Right? No. That's why you ask the prosecutor 3 times. It's the prosecutor who brought the judge in and started this whole mess to begin with. He's the one who started the security. Him, the clerk, and the judge is last. That's why they play it. Every court case, they come after you. It's all fraud.
I was in court, and then I wouldn't get they wanted to give me a public defender, so I didn't want one. And so the judge said he was going to plead, or he pleaded for me. And he said, I'm going to go ahead and plead for you. And he said, not guilty. So I said, I object, because
very good. You spoke. But what the judge was doing, that he became a surrogate.
Yeah.
He became a clone of you.
Yeah.
And he had to throw you a public defender so that he can pull you back into the water.
Right.
It's like, come on, man, let's come down here. I'm going to appoint you a defender. I'm like, judicial notice, I'm going to release him. You don't want to fire him.
Okay.
You fired him, you burn him up. That's bad. That's bad blood. I like to release this employee right here. Ah. Yes. No, not these documents. It's best not to. I'll try to get something very what do you call it? More easier to understand. That way people can actually follow. Yes, that stuff is hard to read sometimes. There you go. The whole the movie Equilibrium. Oh no, I'm sorry. What do you call it? No. Any The Illusionist. It's about the court structure. What was it? The Prestige with that was all about federal court. That all the judges, it's a court. And what did Bill say? It's a theater. The judge is putting on a show. Do you know what you're talking about? Like, to be or not to be, that is unlike, Your Honor. That's Shakespeare. Go away. Yes, sir. Prestige. It's with Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, and Christian Bale. Right? The Illusionist is with Edward Norton. You see? I believe so, yes. You can order it on the IRS website for free. A maximum is 100. It'll take you about a week to get to your place. Yes. Wow. I can't. Yeah. Hey, Jesus. You know your things, man. And not a lot of people know about that matter. You can request it at post office and at the library. The 1099 A, B, and C.
Question.
I totally forgot about that. Yes.
Did you say that you have done these processes?
Yes.
And you've been successful as well as other people?
That's why I'm here. No, absolutely.
Just wanted to make sure, because we here would be very interested in the process, learning the process.
That's what I'm here to assist, to give you the knowledge. I mean, like, the process is one thing. I'll let the bill to be the filter, but for me, I'm trying to expose you this whole system. You just barely knew about it 2 hours ago, right? That everything is a fraud out there. Yes, because you're not nice people. You're kind. Jesus was not nice. He was a kind man. So I always tell Judge, I was like, Jesus was not a nice man. He was like, what'd you say? I said, he was a kind man. Are you kind, Your Honor?
Yeah, you know, every day you get more and more surprised at things you hear, right, or read. And the person name is Lex Luxo, and it's called the Judicial Ninjutsu. It's a writing he did. It's what you're talking about, these type of things as well. And anyway, my point is, I forgot. But I have a question. And we have to go back. You talked about the live boat, right? The live boat. Live boat.
I'm sorry?
Live birth.
Oh, certificate of live birth.
Yes, sorry, the certificate of live birth.
Yes,
now,
of course.
I went. I'm from an island in the Caribbean, and I went there to apply for my certificate live birth. I got a paper back from the hospital saying that they don't have it.
Yes, because you are indigenous. You don't want a certificate of live birth. That is putting you into the system.
Because this is what I found out a couple years ago. I've had my birth certificate my whole life, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have the passports. I've used it. I never noticed this. I looked at my birth certificate. Give a name, no last name.
Because you are alive. That's why when you don't have a last name in your document, you are of the indigenous. If you have your last name, you got to be paying taxes. Ah, you are lucky.
But when I came here, to come here, I had to have my mother and father had to have given a last name because you come from the family, like you say, of such and such. So in my passport now, I got a last name. How that happened?
They administratively frauded you so that they can put you on the stock market. Ah. They can't put you on the stock market if they don't have your last name.
The thing is also, I wasn't born in a hospital. I was the number 13 of my mother's child.
Ah.
13. Number 13. And my mother went to the hospital to have me, right? I'm number 13. It's not her first child. The young nurse tells her, oh, you are not ready. Send her back, right? I'm number 13. This is 13 pregnancy. Sends her back, and the head nurse was a good friend of my family.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to a house which wasn't far from the hospital. That's where she had me. So that's why I have no paperwork. I'm thinking also.
She's special. You know why? As an indigenous member, her trust, she has something called a visible and invisible trust, okay? And you have access to the indigenous lands. You don't need any of this stuff. However, we're going to have to talk a little bit so that get you on the do not detain and do not disturb list. Yes.
Okay, I have the American passport, right? But I done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a citizen, U.S. citizen. I did the without prejudice, everything. But I have been detained, stopped, and they wanted to frisk me. And they have shown, one immigration officer actually grabbed my arm in Houston, and I protested. I objected to it. But anyway, another immigration officer, this is after having the American passport. She tells me, and they always pull me out of the scan and want to touch me. So there I said, I allow you, but under duress. And actually the third time the woman told me, then a man came now to help enforce that they want to touch me. She said, you cannot say under duress. Actually said those words. I said, I allow you, but under duress. And finally, they said, well, the scanner picked up something between my sternum right here, my boobs. I don't know what came over me because I kept telling them, under duress. I just lifted up my blouse and showed them. And the guy said, it's okay, go on.
Indecent. Well, here's a beautiful thing.
I didn't get my right.
But I'm gonna let you know this, and you probably don't know. Why were you given a birth certificate, but not a certificate of live birth? Because the birth certificate, it's your ticket way into the Secretary of the State. You can go take that birth certificate to the Secretary of State's office, and you can say, hi, my name is Anna. What's your last name? Ann Callan. I would like to pledge my birth certificate for a red passport. You want the red passport. Oh yeah, and it's hidden in the Secretary of State. You need only two things. You need to go to a doctor and ask for a blood work that this is me, AB positive, whatever it is. You then take your birth certificate, you go to the Secretary of State, and then you request, I like to pledge What does pledge mean? I am here to devote to my land. Please give me my red passport. That is your ticket to your Sesame Trust and out of the system. Yes.
Were you a native of? Were you a native of?
I was born on the island of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh, so it's not a Native American. She's a native of.
It doesn't matter. She's an indigenous.
Period.
She stepped into this land, right? Therefore, it grants you a allotted title, not a lodio title, an allotted title, okay? Which gives you a red passport. It puts you as a diplomatic ambassador. Yes, not a lot of people know about this. That's why I had to learn all this from the indigenous tribes, the indigenous nations. We're all from a tribal nation. Everyone is. You see, for me, I was born of this land, right? However, I'm not considered. What do you call it? I'm not considered as a indigenous, but I am a native to this land. That's why you're not an American, African American. That's a taxable word. You have to pay tax. You're not Caucasian. You are a indigenous.
Well, no Caucasian for sure.
No, but you don't want to put Caucasian. If they have Mexican or Hispanic, you don't want to write that. You want to put indigenous. No tax. You don't. There's no such thing as race. Yeah, the race is just another word for whoever. It's about the it's about the level of hierarchy of class. That's it. That's why it's called colors of the law. We are colors. Yeah, right? So, go ahead.
Okay, so like she doesn't have a last name. My mother's birth certificate does not have a first name.
Even better. You're not even supposed to have any of those information.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have the birth certificate. It's your get out of jail free card for your red passport. Do you have a birth certificate? Do you have a certificate of live birth? Do you have a doctor that you can go to and say, "Hi, I'd like to get my blood tested. I don't care about the disease." As long as the doctor signs off on it, then you take it with your birth certificate, you go to your Secretary of State, and you just say these words. "Hi, my name is da-da-da-da. I'm here to pledge my birth certificate and my blood works for a red passport."
So anybody can do that.
It's a secret. Absolutely. Where's the Secretary of State?
In Sacramento.
Sacramento, right? Because state of California is a corporation. It is the capital, CAPITOL. It is Sacramento. But the CAPITAL of California Republic is Los Angeles. Oh. Yes.
Is that what is becoming a national instead of a citizen or something like that?
Correcto. That's why, does anybody here have a passport on them right now?
I got one.
Oh, it's okay. I have one right here. Let me read it. That the doctor took your blood, and this is your blood, and that's you. That's your identification.
What if
All
someone
you
is
need-
a citizen of the United States, they came over, they're on our native soil, they're from somewhere else in the world, they have their birth certificate, let's say they're from Iran.
I'm not a citizen.
So they're from Iran. And they take their birth certificate and a blood test and look.
They won't be able to obtain that red passport. It's for people who were born of this land. That is special because why? You take that red passport, you go to your private bank, and it opens up a line of credit. They can obtain homes and all this stuff just like that. But here's the thing. They might. I'm not exactly sure, right? I've been trying to get myself up to the Secretary of State because when you file a bankruptcy, they took something away from you, and it is called the restitution of rights. And if you are a criminal, right, restitution of rights is for criminals. Well, you're not a criminal. I'm like, I know. I would like my restitution of civil rights. That means I'm a non-convict. The day when you filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, they took everything, all your rights. And on the document, it's only $25 at the federal building if you know how to ask for it. And all the clerks, they're going to play stupid with you. I've been here for 30 years. I never heard of such a thing. I'm like, nice try. Or they're going to try to pretend they don't know. I just had my friend up in her sister, right? She's my secretary. Her sister works for the Central District of California, 37 years clerk. She says she knows about it. I'm like, how the day? The restitution of rights is a document that they took all your Bill of Rights away. They took all your voting rights away. They took all of your common law rights away. They took away your gun rights. They took all the rights that everything they took from you since day one, the day you were born, the day that you got into the court, whatever it is, they took it. So when you file a bankruptcy, it pretty much states that you got 90 days to go claim it, but they don't tell you. They call it inventory. Yeah. Yes, please. I would like my restitution rights back. We don't have such a thing. It's called inventory. Can you go ask your supervisor? And they're going to play dumb with you. You have to do it 3 times. So I did it 2 times. The rule of 3, right? I did it twice already. So on Monday, I'm coming back up there and go, I'd like to get my restitution of rights. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm a court chaplain. I've been reading a lot over here, right? The restitution of rights grants you everything on the private side. Oh, all your court cases, all the things that you've been doing, all the private stuff, all the things that you've been trading on the stock market, you now have access to all of it. That is your matrix key to get out of the jail-free card. But your red passport is the other document, right, to get you to leave the United States. And it's the most powerful passport in the world. It's actually called a passport bank. It's connected to your Sesame Trust. And it has so much money in there that you don't even have to worry about, right? But you have to understand. You have to understand. You got to know how that works and why the restitution of rights. It is your right of your indigenous. When you were born here, you were God-given rights, right? So that's why with the common law, like I literally had to study 3 years and read this, and I just learned about this because it allows you to access all your QC reports. It allows you to access all your Newman records. It can tell the judge to go, Your Honor, I got my restitution of rights. It gets your gun rights back. You can carry a gun without a weapons carry permit, license, everything like that. And the funny thing is, the gentleman that taught me this just a few days ago, he's very close to me because I was speaking about the court matter, QSIP, right? Governor Albert called him and said, we will be more than willingly to pay you $10 million to leave the state of Texas right now. He's like, no, I was born here. And he was unlawfully, he was helping someone with a foreclosure. He stopped it, and he did not know that gentleman had a felony case. Turned around, shot him a couple times. He was ducking all that stuff. The cops came, booked him instead, not the other crazy guy. So he got thrown in jail, broke his arm, ex-Navy SEAL. He was a level 3 intelligence officer, and that's why he was like, when he was told by a few gentlemen, you go and get your restitution of rights. And when we walk up there to the 3rd floor of the federal building, hi there, is this the property room? Yes, it is. How may I help you? I'd like to get my restoration of rights. And all the attorneys, everybody in that room was like, just coughing. They're like, he's not an attorney. How the heck did he get that back? It's literally your get out of jail, get out of the matrix card right there.
But that's only if you had filed a federal bankruptcy?
Not only filed for bankruptcy, you can just go up there. Do you have any court cases?
They just dismissed the charges.
All the court cases, whether on federal or superior, they're going to go, for us to give you the restoration of rights, we need a court case. Here you go. I got one from God knows a long time ago. I bring my bankruptcy. I personally filed a Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2018, did not know what. I filed it. I said, I have mine right here. I like to file it on demand. They need a document. And if it's a bankruptcy one from 20 years ago, they'll take that. They'll go, oh, we just lost, sir, because of the judge that I shut down, he got thrown in jail for, I don't know, 240 years, 8 counts, lifetime.
What was his name?
Otis Wright. So all the judges, right, in the federal court, there's a stunt double. They got 2 judges that look the same. Not clones, stunt double. So the real judge is gone. There's a fake judge. He sits in a spot and pretends like he's a judge. That's why the flags, right? You have to understand the color of the eagle, arms up, banking, arms down, territory, whatever. They put it all on the right side or left side, I think. That's not the real judge. That's not that's the fake judge, the stunt double. So I just found out that because he got booked, what was I trying to say? What was I saying right before that?
You were saying he got thrown in jail and then they brought in this stunt double.
Bankruptcy, right? Because of that case matter, right? I took out that federal judge. It was my fault, folks, that the price of gas inflation went up in LA. It went up because the judges' jobs were to keep the monetary value, right, about $4 a gallon. That was when the gas price went up, was because I took out that federal judge. That was his job to maintain the Federal Reserve notes. It was at $7, $8, $9. I'm like, congratulations, Chaplain. You just skyrocket the dollar bill. I'm like, oh my gosh, through no fault of my own. I didn't know. Like, look what you did. Look at LA. Gas prices, everything is $7, $8, $9. Just because you removed one federal judge. Why? That's why. Their job was to maintain the status quo of the Federal Reserve. Certain states are $2, $3 is because the federal judge is actually monetizing. They're hitting their quotas. All right, I don't know who the heck Jesus is throwing in jail so that we need to pull another $300-something million from him. Okay. That's why all these illegals, not illegals, these foreign nationals from every other country is coming here, right? They need to monetize their accounts too. They need to monetize their account. That's why it's like, come to the United States, man. No worries. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. We want to monetize your estate. Why do you think all these people are coming up from Mexico and all these other countries? Is because they planned it. Anybody who have an estate, you just need his document. Go walk up all the way to Mexico. Go up to the border. Don't worry, we'll get there and we'll bring you to the United States somehow. We need to tap into. We're not going to tell you, but we're going to tap into all your QSUIT reports. We're going to start a new full faith and credit called digital currency. Nah. Oh, why do we have all these things? Because they tapped out all of us. They tapped as much as out of Bill, me, every one of us here in the United States. Now they need new money. They need more because people that are foreign nationals, aliens, like from other countries, they got so much money. They had never been tapped in their country. They don't have a stock. Come to the United States. We will give you home, house, everything. Yeah, come disrupt it. We don't care. We want your estate. We want your trust. We want your CSK trust from your country. Ah.
So when you walked up with your bankruptcy, how much did they give you?
Oh no, I went up. The clerk, right? The clerk went, I don't know what this is. I don't know what you're talking about. So when someone goes, hey, again, Jesus, why did you take that thing from me? I don't know what you're talking about. You lied. That's the first thing they say. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like you get defensive. When a clerk says that, they're lying.
Can you get a photograph of a blank form at least?
My friend, he showed me on the thing, right? Because each state is a little bit different. He showed me his version of Texas. I said, not sure about California, but all 50 states has it.
So what did they give you?
You have to pay $25 and they give you back a certificate with the seal, a gold and black seal from the federal court that this is your restitution of rights. You take that, you make a photocopy, you send it to your mortgage, you send it to everything, and just discharge everything. Hey, this is my life back. What's that?
They discharged your whole mortgage?
Because that's your right. You are the office of your executor's office. That document is so powerful. You take it around, you're like, yeah, be gone. Be gone. So, what do you think? You get a reset of everything that you've been paying tax and all that stuff. But now you gotta have to sit there and go, I have to go back how many years since I started paying tax when I was 18 years old, right? Well, here's the thing. I've been doing all this research. I've been testing one thing at a time. I'm testing with myself. I just learned this from a gentleman who has that. He has access to $47 million because of the restitution of rights. He got out of jail. He got all that. He shut down the sheriff's office. He shut down the Department of Transportation. That's why Governor Albert's like, we'd be more than happy for you to leave the state, please. We'll give you $10 million. He took down how many judges? He disqualified all of them. He stopped all the different attorneys coming in, tried to stop him. He just shot him down. They don't even allow him to come into court anymore. I said, come over to California, help me. and he was like, I'll be there in 2 months. I just need to take care of a few things and I'll come right over here. So we're going to hopefully tag team here in Southern California because this right here is our last line of defense in the West Coast. It's Orange County. Or Southern California. Why? Republican, Democrat, they've invaded in. If we lose Southern California, we lose the whole West Coast. Wow. That's why China. Why did Xi Jinping fly all the way to the United States and met up with President Biden in San Francisco? That's not allowed. In the Constitution, you are supposed to fly and meet in D.C. first. Wow. And he flew right under the coup. That's why was he up there in San Francisco? The Federal Reserve Bank had to forfeit. He went over there and bought out all the Federal Reserve debt in San Francisco. You all remember they were cleaning out San Francisco, right? Yeah, and Xi Jinping was there, and Biden was there. I'm like, why did they go? I don't even know. That's how bad the news are, right? So they were supposed to stop by D.C. because D.C. White House, it is the main place for trading. That's why the president's in there. All right, how's my federal court doing?
Gatekeepers.
Yes, the chief of staff and all those folks, right? So yeah, sorry, I get too excited when I talk about this. I haven't spoken to this to a lot of people, and when I do, I get riled up.
So what is the next step of action?
Like with Bill, I was telling Bill, I'm exposing to all you folks, and just take one day to sleep upon it, and now rethink about your life. Well, all the things that occurred, went to court, pay all those things, lost your home, lost your car, vehicles. Just make a summary of your life and go, wow, this is a reset button. Now, how are you going to do it? Are you going to write down and have a detailed version of your life and all that stuff? By the time that it comes to, let's say Bill, and Bill goes, I think we're ready to do this matter, right? I would be more than happy to go, okay, do you meet these quotas, right? When did you first step in here? Or when did you first buy a home? And when did you get married, right? All that has to be reset. It has to be smooth. That's for me as an underwriter. We have to make sure all the documents are all aligned. Because at the end of the day, what's more deadlier than a gun and a sword is a piece of paper and a pen. And nice paper. Nice bonded paper. Because when you do that all together, you give it to the clerk, they look at you and go, you're not an attorney. Of course I'm not. I'm a court chaplain. I make sure the people come in and it's flawless. So yeah. Yes. Am I doing okay, Bill? Okay.
Wanted money from me, telling me that I work as a contractor. And anyway, I didn't do anything about it. And then years later, they contacted me again. They were suing me, and that day I got their mail. And a woman there was very nice in the city office. And we have I got a judgment, but without prejudice, with prejudice. So I have a judgment from the city of Los Angeles. Does that count as a case?
Yeah.
1099-C. Cancel out the debt, and they no longer can come after you. And then we go obtain the QSIT report, and then we go file and get all that money back. Why were you contracted with them?
No. They said that I was contracted. That I was at the time I was teaching. And they said that I had to get a license because I was a contractor. I was working as a contractor. And I said, no, I wasn't. I was employed, and I was also, just...
Who you were employed with?
A company.
So was that company...
A private company.
But were they working with the county of Los Angeles?
No.
So it was a union matter. This is what they do. They will come after you, the Board of Education. So that's why they would secretly come after you.
I wasn't a regular teacher.
Understand.